I don't think we can have an honest conversation about personal finances unless we address buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse is relatively common. It can happen to anybody and it can happen with different purchases. It could be a small purchase, it could be a moderate sized purchase, or it could be a very large one. It's not unusual for people to have a little shopping spree at the mall and then look back and regret their purchases. It's also not uncommon to buy a car that you later wonder, did I indulge too much? Did I spend too much money on this car? And it is very common for people to have buyer's remorse when they buy a house because they might wonder, is this too much house? Is this more house than I need? That would certainly be expected given the fact that for most people, a house is going to be the largest expense, the largest amount of money that they spend in one transaction. So, with that said, I am no stranger to buyer's remorse. I do have a lot of impulse control, which certainly does help me to stay in line and reduce my chances of regretting my purchases, but I'm not immune to it, and it does happen on occasion because I cannot foresee everything. I've also mentioned that I am a new mom, well, relatively new. I have a toddler. And in addition to the fact that I love talking about money, one of the things that I certainly love, just like any new mom, is talking about her baby. So that means this list is going to give me the opportunity to talk about my two favorite things in one video, which is my baby and money. So, this is a list of 5 things that I spent money on, that I purchased, that I wish I would not have purchased, or I would have done things differently. So, here we go. Number one, an upgraded breast pump. So, if you're not aware, thanks to the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, breast pumps are now free through your health insurance. However, they give you a really basic bare bones breast pump. You do have the option of upgrading to a nicer model for a fee. In my case, I went with the fanciest thing they had available and I paid an additional $150 for it. Honestly, it would have been money well spent if I had been able to use it. Well, it turns out that I was not producing any milk. And ultimately, my son ended up on formula. Had I known this was going to happen, I probably would have stuck with just the basics of what they gave me because at least it would have been free. Instead, I'm out $150. I have an unused breast pump, and I had a baby who did not have an ounce of breast milk in his life. Number two, too many clothes. So I was mindful of the fact that babies grow fast. I should not be buying too many clothes. However, this one happens to be a pandemic baby. I planned for my child to have a relatively normal life, except he was out of the house like maybe twice before everything just went downhill. I don't beat myself up about that too much because that's not something that I could have predicted. But it still hurts to have to see all these clothes that he will never wear, and I will just have to give them away. It's heartbreaking. Number three, too many bottles. We wanted glass bottles, always concerned that they were going to break. Well, they didn't break. Well, you know what? We broke 2 of them, which means I spent a lot of money on bottles that didn't need to be spent. Number four, a newborn coat. Now, we live in the Northeast, as I've mentioned, and he actually was born in the winter, but we have a 2 car garage. So, no matter which car we're taking, he is not out into the elements until we arrive at our destination, and then we quickly move him into the building. So, that means he was never outside for long. Plus, I don't know if people realize this, but when you have one of those nice down jackets, which do keep you warm, it is very difficult to securely strap a baby into a car seat while wearing those bulky coats. So that means we ended up using a car seat cover most of the time. We kept the baby warm by using things on the outside of the car seat, not so much by putting him in a coat. He barely ever used his newborn coat. So that is definitely another area that I would not have spent money on. Number five, taxes. I know that might sound like an odd one. However, I did not take advantage of the fact that a newborn means that I now have a qualifying event that makes us eligible to either make changes to our plans or enroll in a healthcare flexible spending account. That means I actually failed to take advantage of the FSA through which I could have paid the hospital bill. Our hospital bill wasn't enormous. However, we still had a couple $1,000s that we had to cover out of pocket. And that is money that we paid to the hospital with after tax dollars when that would not have been necessary had I planned adequately. Although, between having a newborn and being in the middle of a pandemic, it's easy to get distracted and to let those opportunities slip by, but that means I failed to reduce our taxable income, which means I paid more in taxes, and that is certainly something that I regret. Now, I want to hear from you what you wish you had spent less money on when you had your child. Or if you don't yet have a child, but you're expecting, what are you on the fence about buying that you think, that's not really a good investment? I'm not sure if I should buy this. So let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I would like to continue sharing my thoughts on all things money with you. So I would appreciate it if you could help out the channel by liking this video and sharing it with anyone you think might benefit from it. If you want to see more content, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know when new videos come out. I'll see you in the next one.